San Diego's damaged roads, sidewalks, deteriorating water mains, and other aging infrastructure were estimated to cost the city at least $900 million to repair. But an independent budget analysis says the repairs could actually cost as much as $2 billion. Here with more on the city's progress on a 5-year infrastructure fix-it plan is San Diego City Councilman Mark Kersey. Welcome.
Thank you, Peggy. Thanks for having me.
No, Mark, how did the city let itself get into this infrastructure problem? How has it progressed and become so bad?
Well, it really comes down to years of neglect is the real answer. I mean, we went a lot of years during the fiscal crisis where we just didn't invest in things like maintenance. And when you don't maintain your roads, it's similar to your car. If you don't change your oil, you're not going to have a well-performing engine. And at some point, you're going to have to just replace it and you can't catch up. And that's where we are right now. We didn't invest in maintenance for a long period of time. And the roads, when you don't maintain them, they just fall apart. And then you can't maintain them anymore. You just have to rebuild new roads.
And it's pretty significant. An independent budget analysis found San Diego's estimated cost of nearly $900 million to repair these backlog, as you say, of issues was likely to cost perhaps double that amount, closer to like $2 billion. Why the huge discrepancy on the $1 million to $2 million? That's a pretty big jump.
That's right. I mean, the first numbers that came out were estimates based on 3 primary asset categories, and that was $898 million. And we knew that that was good data, but it was incomplete data. And so what we know going forward is we need to do condition assessments on, for example, sidewalks. The city has never done a citywide comprehensive sidewalk condition and needs assessment, ever. And so we got money put in the budget this year, about $1 million, to actually do that first one. And we don't know what the price tag is going to be. It's going to be a big number, but we don't know what that number is. And so that's why there's that variation between $1 billion and $2 billion. And you start to add in things like the Point Loma wastewater treatment plant, it could be even higher.
All right. Now, you're the chair of the City Council's first infrastructure committee. How do you plan to tackle this problem?
Well, the committee was created back in December, and our interim mayor now, who is also our council president, Todd, Gloria, had the vision to create the committee because previously we had never had anybody with the direct oversight responsibility for infrastructure projects. And so he named me the chairman of the committee, and we've had a busy 10 months. We came out with the city's first infrastructure work plan back in January. We got the money for this first sidewalk condition assessment, as I mentioned. We got the first neighborhood input policy passed. So we're going around and talking to people throughout the city, which is going to help us figure out how do we prioritize these projects. And what this is all going to culminate in is the city's first 5-year infrastructure plan, which sounds basic enough because most large government agencies have one. Port has one, the counties have one. The city of San Diego not only doesn't have one, we can't find evidence we've ever had one.
Well, $1 to $2 billion. If I had said million before, I meant $1 to $2 billion.
Right.
We expect on this. How is the city going to get that money? Taxes, bonds? What's the situation?
Well, I think there's going to have to be a pretty serious civic discussion about that next year. My focus right now is on the 5-year infrastructure plan because we don't even know what the price tag is right now. So it'd be very difficult for us to go to the voters asking for anything when we don't even know how much we need. So we're going to concentrate on the condition assessments, the neighborhood input, and the 5-year infrastructure plan. Once we get all those done, then we can see what the cost is and then have that conversation.
What about the deferred capital bond? You wouldn't need a vote for that. Is that something that you're going to discuss that next week?
That's right. So that's going to come to my committee. This is a 5-year program. The third issuance of that is coming to my committee next week. It's going to be at least $100 million, and this is for deferred capital projects. It'll be everything from streets and roads, fire stations, libraries, and it's not enough money, but it's a good chunk, a good down payment to get us where we need to be.
To get started. If we get loaded up on sort of these bond loans to pay for this, how would that impact the general fund?
Well, there is debt service that we have to pay, and right now interest rates are still low and construction costs are still low. We know in the future both of those are going to rise, and so right now bonding is appropriate. We may get to a point in the future where bonding no longer makes sense, and ultimately we need to be investing more money out of the city's general fund directly towards infrastructure projects. And any surpluses that are coming in, I want to see at least half of those surpluses dedicated to infrastructure.
Now, you passed a policy to formalize getting neighborhoods and residents input about the projects they want fixed, priorities in their community. Tell us how they can participate.
Well, we've got a series of community meetings that are starting next week. We actually did the first one in my district as a pilot a couple of months ago. And we're going to do one in Balboa Park next week with Todd, Gloria for District 3. And then we're going to do another one with Scott Sherman 2 days later. And then we're going to have one each week until we round out each council district. And the idea is we know that our project need greatly outstrips the resources. We need to prioritize these projects. We don't want to dictate that from City Hall, so let's have the communities help us understand how to prioritize these projects.
Great opportunity for people to get involved
Absolutely.
in something that would really matter. All right, San Diego City Council member Mark Kersey, thank you very much. And I just want to remind people that the next neighborhood input meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. in Balboa Park with Interim Mayor Todd, Gloria, and Council member Mark Kersey. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Peggy.